and abuse. No more room for careless talk. No more room to exploit the public at will. Indeed, no more room to talk and act with impunity. Enough is enough.
Honorable Dr. Chegno Abbas Bundu continue say, the leadership na parliament condemn the reports wey make it say dem go call CAL and IGR for bring evidence of dem survey dem.
Parliament unreservedly condemns the outcome of the so-called perception survey to the extent that they constitute an unmitigated affront to the dignity and image of Parliament. We also cannot conceal our displeasure at what appears to be a deliberately orchestrated and calibrated conspiracy to damage the good name of Parliament and parliamentarians. We therefore challenge both CAL and Afrobarometer and IGR and all their financiers to bring forth evidence to substantiate their allegations, or else run the risk of being found guilty of contempt of Parliament with all its attendant consequences.
The methodology, sample, and other step them wey CAL and IGR use na dem corruption survey reports. Now one way the Deputy Director of Research na Parliament, Gilbert Nabe, say the step them
corrupt officials. What we are establishing here is that Parliament, in the first place, was not part of designing the tool and its validation process for which it was targeted for. Inaccessibility and interaction of public officials is enough evidence to show that they are corrupt. Most of the respondents have little or no knowledge about parliamentary workings to be able to provide that general conclusion. The Afrobarometer report left room for unanswered questions. Whilst the perception survey and the Afrobarometer research do not have well-inclusive sample size, excluding rural communities. The sample method used for the perception survey, largely biased and judgmental, cannot be relied upon to reflect a national survey.
With all of this corruption allegation, where Parliament don't condemn say, the two reports them no get true pandem. Now one way and Ulavali, when the executive director for Institute for Governance Reform IGR been get different view.
Those accusations or those allegations, if they were not serious, there was no way Parliament would have assembled us. I have worked in this Parliament for about 3 years, and I know the challenges they face. Parliament needs to understand that we cannot shy away from accountability. People, when we talk to them, when we interview them and they give this information for it to be shared, we are just bringing their voices and views into policy-making process. We do not feel flustered, we do not feel threatened at all. If Parliament is weak, we will not be deterred to say that Parliament is weak. We cannot choose to fight it. If we continue to fight it, we'll lose the challenge of addressing poverty, we'll lose the challenge of addressing cohesion, we'll lose the challenge of addressing national accountability.
The two allegation corruption survey reports, now one way the leadership na Parliament don't commit to the Committee of Ethics for investigate and proper one before they take action. For Radio Democracy, Princess Pierce reports.
The program Good Morning Salon they continue. Well, from that report they now inside with we in the studio we can look at the issue we get for do with perception survey we IGR do and also CAL. The Salon Parliament na a legislative branch of government and then principal responsibility now for make laws them and also look at other issue them we get for do with the public. The Salon Parliament also make up of 146 members. Out of that 46 they get 132 we get direct election from the people of Sierra Leone through the 16 districts them, and the current Speaker of Parliament we na in the lead the Parliament na Honorable Chegno Abbas Bundu with the honor the Sierra Leone People's Party. And this being term we see Center for Accountability and Rule of Law inside one perception survey then do a report we class the institution as the second most corrupt and also say this institution also get individual also we involve into corruption. And the Institute of Governance Reform also we do another survey we point the same finger as Parliament. Well, waiting this mean to them and how they take the corruption allegations they are. With winner the studio I get Sheko Lamin Toure, winner Deputy Director of Public Relations na Parliament. Once more, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, sir, to you.
Okay, for start with the issue about this corruption allegation where they point at Parliament right now. How Parliament, first of all, will take this kind news or this kind report where we see come out from two institutions them in terms of pointing finger for say a whole institution of Parliament where plenty people they look up to in terms of representation and all corrupt or they involved into corruption activity.
Thank you very much. And at the outset, the Parliament of Sierra Leone been shocked, and even with the interview where the speaker gets with and BBC and Popular Focus on Africa program, INSEF expressed shock, and he say again an opportunity for self-introspection, and that the matter will be investigated when Parliament come up from recess. Yes, the Parliament shock, and because Parliament now the national conscience of the people. Parliament now the mirror of the country, and some of them report there. So the Parliament taken very seriously because Parliament all over the world jealous but in image and dignity as well as reputation. So if them can report there, we largely based on perception, we not get anything for the reality as to waiting the happen in a Parliament. Done the Parliament taken very serious, and that the Parliament actually intend for go into the matter properly so that Parliament go able to come back again to the public and establish say and waiting actually then say about Parliament not so that they happen. And also I want to let listeners know say the Parliament of Sierra Leone currently, and we get the Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament. Say ECOWAS get 15 member states, and the current Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament are a member, of the Sierra Leone Parliament. So we get for take note of that as well. And also, the Parliament of Sierra Leone, we're not the mirror of the country. Some of them report there, so we're not fact-based, and it erode donor confidence, to not the country, and this country go stand for lose so many things. Yeah, so we get for actually see where we they come up with some of them things there. So not that the Parliament are vast, to issues around strengthening or developing the capacity of the Parliament, but anything we get for do with survey, especially them perception surveys there. So you need intensive stakeholder engagement, and Parliament not involved in all of this until we see them take win at the court of the media and public opinion.
All right, you said the reports are not fact-based. We can look into that, but let's go back. Also, you start. Firstly, Sapti just ask you how una take the report. You say the speaker himself being shocked and the rest of the parliament being shocked. Waiting shock Parliament, but perception reports for say corruption in a Parliament.
Yeah, it's shocking because such a thing not they exist, na the Parliament of Sierra Leone until we and then to report they take the Parliament and at the Supreme Court of Public Opinion say the Parliament corrupt. And the Parliament, not they take this, very lightly because it got to do with the image and reputation of the Parliament, just like where I tell you, and the Parliament, and constitutes of, just like what Madam Kalonbi they say, 146 members of Parliament, and people get integrity and reputation for protect. And the Speaker make them very clear that the parliamentarians, they represent the conscience of the people. If parliamentarians then, involved in corruption, now the highest form of betrayal, to the people of this country. So such a thing, not they exist so far. Now that make the Parliament the request say those who do the perception surveys for able to come up with evidence for actually substantiate them claims then they.
You say such a thing not they exist, that the corruption allegation. But if you look back in the Parliament, we don't see incident who say member of Parliament and they make accusation against themselves. If such a thing they exist, why people where they inside the Parliament don't they attest or don't they make complaint of such corruption allegation?
Yes, and you rightly, as you don't point out, and we don't get allegations of corruptions against the Parliament of Sierra Leone, but then allegations then they, and we not get any substance or any evidence where they actually prove for say the Parliament of Sierra Leone corrupt. And over the years, and they find out say we don't get issue around the former mayor of Kenema City Council, that matter they be investigated by the ACC, and Parliament be stand vindicated. Parliament not been found, guilty of any wrongdoing. Now be just an allegation. And also we see the issue around, the current clerk of Parliament and Honorable Ibrahim Tawakonte, when the erstwhile chairman of the Committee on Transparency and Accountability been get some, heated, debate now, na very studious here, and that matter they under active investigation by the Anti-Corruption Commission. So far we not get any, evidence or substantive, reasons for sure say the Parliament of Sierra Leone corrupt. Not just words upon words, allegations upon allegations. We not get any reason or proof we don't show say the Parliament of Sierra Leone corrupt so far.
All right, continue for the week na the program Sheku Ture, Director of Communication na the House of Parliament. We will come back to you. The program Good Morning Salon they continue 7:47 na the time from the studio clock. We they come to the other studio guests na the program this morning. We na Engineer Amara Jambai Kane in na the Director General na the Sierra Leone Roads Authority. There this morning they can give updates, but road projects where they own na different parts na the country. Not to the first time this will be the get side. We don't care before. Can give updates on waiting it do as since it take up office, and we get an air again this morning. But quickly before we go to Ram, the Sierra Leone Roads Authority SLRA came into existence inside 1993 under the SLRA Act of 1992. And key among the responsibility, among other things, them gets for do with administration, control, development, and maintenance of all road and related structures them na the country. Well, as I say, if you don't carry the first them for tell we waiting in key responsibility as Director General na SLRA. So today, as you dey back na the studio, let me just start for now. Waiting don't happen since you left here the last time where you been can give updates on your responsibilities. Over to you, Engineer. What did happen since you left here?
Thank you very much. I'm sorry. Like you rightly state inside your intro, now we get the responsibility for managing the national road network. And management responsibilities include quite a lot. Now we're responsible for planning. Now we're responsible for formulation of programs. Now we're responsible for the implementation of road programs, and now we also monitor and evaluate road programs. So since that time we Akaya, almost 2 years ago now, we don't do a lot with regard to developing our road network. Nationwide, we get projects then we na donor funded projects. Then they na the rural parts of this country. We get the 28-kilometer road project from Pendembu to Kailahun, where so far we don't be very close to Kailahun. That one could be done by February early next year. The work now the south also, the go to Bandajuma, which is about 46.2 kilometers. That one too, we don't get substantial completion. We get from Bandajuma also right through Zimi to Gendema, the Liberian border. That one too, we don't go far with them. Now Moyamba, we do the Moyamba Junction Road and 4 bridges. The bridges now, the one Mabang, we get the Magbele bridge also, where they under construction, Bangbama, and the other bridge inside Moyamba. These are the development projects. Them, of course, inside Fritoya, the Lumley to Tuke Road, inside government will be done start for Duam, and they are about for conclude them almost this year or early next year. The hillside bypass road also going to the east from Zwazak Junction down the self with the on them. And in fact, most times during peak hours, the traffic they pass now. People then not say that work they don't go far with them. So these are the development projects where most of them are donor funded projects. But then government also they fund some ongoing projects, particularly the township roads in Freetown here, the west of Freetown, the extreme west of Freetown, When I see we do the Atlantic Bridge, where they link Juba to the Lumley Beach area. We don't, they do Mina Drive and a lot of other roads within that community also. In the central part, of course, the King Hammer Road and the other projects where the other roads where they within that package itself we don't they almost conclude them. The Hillcourt Road, the one that we don't pass the, then they see flyover bridge where not the first in this country. Of course, in the east end again, with the work assiduously, we get another contract to Chico where they do the roads, them Mankini, furniture, and the old road. So these are some of the projects. Of course, when I talk about the extreme east again, we get concession contract when at the Wellington to Machaka Road project. That one also when I see how the Chinese they will introduce another 2-lane add-on to the old road, and that one also they go on very well. Of course, that not the development projects, the maintenance activities, then they also we can always do down there on they come as and when necessary.
All right, from then development projects and the way you just make mention of, we go can look deeply into them. But apart from the major roads and the way like now contracts and the way contractors and the work on currently, let me take your attention to other roads them. How you go describe the status of other roads then apart from them big projects here? Waiting at the status of the other road then.
Well, the status it range from some day we are very poor because I mean the national network now we deal with. So some roads and the way very poor, of course, their status. Some day we fair, then some day we very good, way good, you know, and even to the excellent one, then the projects that we don't conclude quite recently. So now so we look at them.
So among the one and the also one that you put under poor, very good and excellent road condition currently.
You know, when you leave Freetown here, you go into the rural areas. Some feeder roads, then they're in very poor condition because of the heavy downpour of rain, the traffic day, this and that. So some of them roads here, then you go say they're very poor. If you get road where you can drive at 40 to 60 kilometers per hour, I mean, we can say they're fair. They're above 60 kilometers going to 100, they are good. And above 100, I mean, they are excellent roads. That's so we can grade them.
I know let we reach it at the provinces. Let me just take Freetown for example, when at the capital city.
Okay.
Now there let we start for know the road them where you know say they in good condition as we talk.
The road them, like I don't say, I mean, if you yourself they drive, right? If you drive on any road where you drive more than 60 kilometers per hour, then a good road.
So
inside the city.
Looking at sustainable road projects, that means a road them working good. One thing where we can see from SLRA and other body them where owner they work with, now the issue of the road just been made, then later you will see the tab begin ace up. And the issue about owner not they respond quickly, where road can done damage, don't really the big concern of people in the capital city, especially this raining season. In line for maintenance road them na Freetown. I mean waiting can be the reason we can see a lot of delay come out from owner and on other parts of the owner they work with.
Thank you very much. But the first you say they make roads then they took tired and begin gap. Every structure, even human being, get lifespan.
But it not can last too long.
I mean, what is the time span where you refer to as not too long?
But most of them not even take like a 6 months. There you can see, I mean, don't they get obstruction?
No, I mean, sometimes, I mean, what you want to feel for understand, let's say like Limcock Road to Regent, right? That road is under construction, we're not done at it. So before the rainy season they come, like the contractor, what he do? The dirty where they don't put the dirty, they don't compact them, they not go one loss that material during the rainy season. So what then they do? They can prime them just with bitumen at their own cost. I mean, not the cost we. Now for just protect the investment we then don't do. So you find out says, I mean, multiple portals then will develop during that time day. But then not to damage, not to haste the time because the work not done it. You will find out say now, when starting October, when the rain go down cease, then go back to effective work. you find out say you get a smooth ride.
But most of the road in the knocking door, it already falls on the terms of bump, where people they drive the motor car this way, you know, they steady. And also you they see say the road them knocking there at a finishing end it already go on the bad side. If one can not say the road they not do it, why not they allow access to it?
Well, this, you know, when they do work within the communities, right? And then road then they in use. Will they go in for fixed road for solve a problem, or not they go for create additional problems? So most times, like you say, yes, that is the case. You know, we close the road to traffic completely. The traffic there for the flow, the people then they work at the same time. That also they affect quality, you know, at the end of the day. But they try very hard for minimize that kind of challenge we can get.
As you don't make mention of the Limcock Wing Regent Road, let me just start from there because we don't start for name the roads then now where we look at specifically. Why that work they don't delay?
Well, when you do road within settlement, right? You get the road like that kind of road, the road with the widening them. So when you widen them, people then they weigh or other institutions then they will depend on that right of way. We'll get to that later on. Like the Guma, for example, then pipes then they pass inside that the area where the road will do the road. We get ETSA where then facilities then the Seratel then facilities then the SALCAB and the rest. Then when they all get for relocate. And it take time for let them come out inside the road corridor.
But the time
we get private people then also we get properties inside the. You know, go just can't today. You see how they make this road come on go. The government can for pay compensation for all of them. To all of them people. Yeah.
So does that mean government's not been take that into consideration when on be award the contract and talk of timing when on been give the contractors them? Because I remember at the time when the president be launched the Lumley Pier Bridge Road.
Yes.
Now that same time they then be awarded contract and the work being supposed for done by now as we talk, but it's still the honor. Not been take that into consideration. Say time get for the let people then relocate, time get for the for let Guma and other utilities and pull them, then property them. Where on they award the contract.
You get for take all of that into consideration. But mind you, with the deal with other institutions, we then self get their own work program also, right? In the settlement areas, no matter what, whatever activity you do, you get for a lot of constraints then get for the then challenges then the person, for example, then I host, you know, you get for move on. Even though government, you know, well-meaning government they give money, they compensate you for let you move go. But you know, go just be so inhuman, you go with machine the next day before the man in host, you say, come on, would they bring this house down? You know? So we can give them time at times for let them move. All of that could slow down the pace of work on the
so in
project.
Freetown, you think say we get any road when I go point at where you will say this not a quality road as somebody with in charge of road planning, maintenance and monitor and make sure say people get access to safe road for ride or walk on?
Not to just any road. We get a lot of we get a lot of roads where na quality roads.
Like
Even the
Uswane,
road
so.
where they can you know, the Jomo Kenyatta road. It's a very good road. They're not completed yet because we now then they do the road marking and so forth. But a very good road. The hillside bypass road, phase 1. We don't. It don't done. People then they use them. Then they will get a lot of then kind of road. Even the hill cut road, you'll find out say now a local contractor do and they see how it come on. Take care of my road going down there. It come on very well. Spur road day, you know, the Wilkinson road and a good number of our roads are very good.
And then in an old road then.
What do you mean by old?
Now project the one that meets don't complete. Where this administration meets don't complete.
Well, you see, like I say, what they go through a long
Right.
we can only complete projects when we don't close them, right?
Right.
Some of them road they are up to date or they pay for them still. So you're not gonna say we meet.
All right, continue for the with the studio engineer Amara Jambai Kane, the Director General na the Sierra Leone Roads Authority. The program Good Morning Salon they continue with the take short commercial break and continue for look at more issues.
Sierra Leone Commercial.
Salon Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile app, you can able for use Salon Link money transfer for send money to anybody in like you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office in like you not get the account number. Buy Exalite, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You don't need for worry again but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagbadon done for the boss man them. With Leone Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all you supplier them, sell forex to Salon Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go to Salon Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
Sierra Leone Commercial Bank.
The program Good Morning Salon they continue, and we will bring this edition come to you this morning. Mina Sapti Yukalon
And Mabel Kaba.
We continue to look at more issue inside the program, and now we look at one of the headlines to read them. Also, the commanding officer, Nafunkia Police Post na Godrich, ASP Mohammed Mansari don't say police do arrest 2 people where they help them power investigation. For one case we get for do with one 16-year-old girl picking we allege say one more man be roast in Bele with fire because he anti say a thief mobile phone na funkia inside Godrich. Well, we reporter Wani Gauja gets more and go now report.
The pot, then they put fire inside there. Now 3 girls there inside there. And all it in they force her now into me belly. As them put the pot for me, waiting all me. Immediately a piece for me safe.
16-year-old Miata, we safe na Combra and the breastfeeding Pekin. After we done in a hospital for about 2 weeks now, it be finally feel strong for explain. But how this mercy man use hot pots we get fire for roasting belly for proof say na in tiffin auntie we ideto for men in Android phone we cost but 800,000 leons. But according to Miata, he say not to intif this phone, but in auntie fasting for accuse am.
Phone lost na us. Then say na me take and not to me doing. As we go, I buy the pap for feed me picking. The woman go na police station go make a report say we don't tiffin phone. Me uncle. Now him go call the mercy man. When the mercy man they see me, they laugh then he shaking head. The mercy man can go 2 bobo them, 1 big man plus in, so now them 4. Now them go na the place. And where they go, they can go broom, pots and cane. The morning time when at the 9 o'clock we for go back na station. They say let we go back na station. We not be able for go because they say they don't count the mercy man. The mercy man go can't look for the phone. So now they now we be there. Where the mercy man come, then they get one thing where they rub na the belly, na leaf the draw. Then they use the rub am. After when they rub am, they put am first. The thing not hold me. Then he put am back. When he put am now, then me belly begin pull now that was smack. It begin get a water. The thing don't wash me now. It don't make now that ring like.
This speaking they under the support of Aberdeen Women's Center, under the Teenage Mothers Program. So when this incident happened to them, then be rushed with them na the Aberdeen Women's Center. Also I talked to the fistula supervisor na this center, Nurse Anita Kamara, when I can give care to this Pekin.
They come with maternal hospital. It be rose right round enable. Big rose. Now in the rose and enable. Matata we say, well, auntie be talk say the tiffin phone. They say not to anybody tiffin in the matter in friend na the tiffin. Auntie be there now. They prepare for medicine man. They want they can looking grown. Na pot. Then they put fire inside. A hot, a red. If they take the red pot, it put on pie belly. When it comes to matter, the pot's don't red. It put on first, the pot's don't fashion. It pull on. According to matter, the last one now is squeeze the pot. Then the pot clamp on the body. So this place all over outside the pot, but to right around the neighbor, all side be don't cook. It be don't begin for pull some infection now. It be don't blister, it don't come up bad. All the skin where them bone. Doctor scrape all the skin, he left with in red flesh body. So now with the treat until you see him. Not dey able for wear clothes, we wear clothes in the fashion, and they deprive the pikin not dey suck again sef, because when the pikin dey suck, they, you know, when pikin dey suck, they kick, and they play sensitive, so they afraid. So this we don't make it, don't pull the pikin pa bobby. So while we dey on the treating process, the woman we don't see the phone, and the one wey take the phone na in pikin na in take the phone. But we be don't go report to the police station, that they follow up the
As
case.
the Aberdeen Women Center, we don't go with this case na the Funkia Police Post. The commanding officer, ASP Mohammed Mansari, inside one telephone interview, confirmed to me say police don't arrest 2 people for help them with investigation, but say the Mori man wey do this act, we don't run away.
We don't give medical, don't come on medical. Investigator don't come here, we don't go obtain statements from the social worker, they don't obtain statements from the investigator, and we don't get witness statements, we don't get all the people away them concerned. Now only one suspect now in the at large, we are the prime suspect in the at large. But the 2 conspirators, the house owner, we now go defend the sorcerer. Then the mommy way they allege they begin to ride. Then 2 people and they will say 9 phone loss. Now then 2 I would arrest. Then the man will get the host where would they say na conspiracy. Then in the police and now they don't go register the file.
This speaking end up for tell me say then be later see this phone as na the auntie in Pekin be take this phone. And this is say na advantage then seize Panam. So a call on authority them we concern for help am get justice in this case. For Radio Democracy, me Nawani Gauja.
Alright, 7 minutes after 8 and the time from the studio clock, and the program you still listen to now Good Morning Salon. We dey come to the other studio guest now. We in a Sheku Ture. He come out na the House of Parliament. He there this morning at the Director of Communication. We dey talk about 2 perception survey reports, them way institution, them police, them where they show say Parliament corrupt, and because of that, yesterday Parliament we get a press conference. Also, then go tell journalists them their own position on this particular survey reports. Where according to them, they not agree with waiting them institution here put on the report for say Parliament corrupt. I they come back to you, Mr. Turi, as I don't say earlier. The people them na parliament, who na the members of parliament, them na the make of parliament, na public servants them, where they represent people them from different constituency them, and according to the people them we do, then report here where we talk about we na perception survey reports, then say then go to them people here, we na the public, where una people and they represent, na then tell them say parliament corrupt. Instead of parliament, they take this the whole thing of the perception survey report emotional. Why on another use this time as parliament for look into waiting the people and say the corrupt practice them where they happen at parliament, instead now they get back at the people and we do the report.
Thank you very much. Just like waiting up on a parliament yesterday, and one parliament questioned the methodology, because survey gets standard. And I say earlier, just not say perception surveys then highly intensive. You get forget stakeholder, engagement or validation. Just like I've been saying, we agree say then they do them perception surveys there for strengthening, the parliament so that you go effectively, carry out in responsibility, and parliament subject to accountability, of the people, because say now the people own the parliament, now the people, now the people actually not the employers of the members of parliament. So parliament no averse, to you doing perception surveys. But at the end of the day, who that go own, that particular report or perception surveys owner do? In the first place, they're not involved, parliament at the design and also at the validation.
You don't need for
so that
go to parliament if you want for do a survey with the public on waiting people think but parliament.
You see, we agree, say, then they try for do them surveys there also for actually better or capacitate the parliament, yeah? And you need for do stakeholder engagement, because at the end of the day, the product of that particular research, it directs into a particular institution. Say, for example, you want for leather institution, they go better off in delivery, in duties there. At the end of the day, if you not involve, the parliament, especially so we get for do with perception, we're not to reality. The parliament not going for accept.
For you, then institution here for the one parliament and ask if una corrupt, then for answer
not
you
to the point that, not to the point that the point is, for example, in stakeholder engagement where they design the tool, you go inform the parliament, say, now we they try for do a survey, a citizen survey, on the performance of the parliament. Yeah? Okay. Then una consider una discuss the tool. You they discuss the tool with
so why
parliament.
you need for go discuss tool with parliament
So that
if you want to talk to the public?
You go able forget because the parliament is representative of the public. So if you go meet the public, on issues where relate to the parliament, you get for involve the stakeholders. When at the parliament say we undertake this survey, it not necessarily means say the parliament.
I beg for differ because if somebody want forget perception survey but person, you can't involve the person. You can't involve. So why una take say if you said don't say perception not to reality, why una they take that way? Una take instead of una look at the issues them where like could all lead to the particular report with them pull and ask for sometimes the questionnaires them and waiting have been the people in response for let una learn from them.
No, we don't need for jump the gun. That get for constitute the investigation. No need for prejudice the investigation. Yeah, because you must don't develop you survey tools. You don't go to the field. You get enumerators the way don't go administer. So at the end of the day, during the course of investigation, the parliament go able for call for them tools and they actually see because if they find out say they use open-ended questions and with open-ended questions you already get list where they present to the person. For example, you go say what do you think about corruption na salon. What do you think about the police? You already get an eye list. You get parliament. You get state house. You already get an eye list. But for open-ended questions, you go ask the person, say, which institutions if you say corrupt na Sierra Leone? Then the person go say, for example, the police. Then you go ask further for proof. Why you feel say the police corrupt?
So this report's a lie, the lie power.
No, this report not get them component there. You see, even Mr. Tommy Bidena say they not ask why. Then just say which institution you say corrupt. No, wait. Then say which institution you feel say corrupt. Then the person say, for example, police. They not ask further for say why you say police corrupt. You get for able for come with evidence for show say because anything we get for do with corruption, even with the anti-corruption commissioner, the commissioner was here. He say anything we get for do with corruption, you get for get evidence because if you not get the threshold for evidence, they're not going able for amount of corruption. So for indict, the representatives of the people. When at the Parliament of Sierra Leone say corrupt without evidence, I feel say unfair.
Mr. Toure, inside the speaker in address on this issue, it states about public perception. In una you understanding, because una say it based on public perception, which means it's not school. In una you understanding that in a parliament, or that una take or call the public.
And are the people of Sierra Leone. So the people of Sierra Leone make up the public. So, and are the people of Sierra Leone elect the representatives when are the members of parliament.
So if the perception based on the people then view, which one are they say contrary? Is it that the people are not say the right thing or say, corruption activity they happen in parliament?
No, if the people, for example, they develop the tool, yeah? Now, it just start like where I say, I they go 98.1, okay? You get the route so you get for use for Kana 98.1. So you get for clearly, specify that. Now, for example, if you don't ask somebody, say, the institutions that also if you say corrupt, you don't provide the list. Don't the person say, for example, parliament. You not go further for ask why you say parliament corrupt. Just because of the person say parliament are corrupt institution, you take her.
If una
done in substantial.
If una so much believe,
evidence based.
If una so much believe in the people for sending on a parliament to different elections and voting for represent the public, why this particular term the people in view una they consider and say not important?
No, the parliament not they say the views of the people not important, but the process of gathering the data is faulty. That's what the parliament is saying.
Say it's faulty.
For example, one, there is no stakeholder, engagement, and number two, and even the respondent there. The respondent, the way they engage, is largely urban-centric. They not actually go at the chiefdom, levels. And the people the way they talk to, most of them don't understand about the workings and operations of parliament. And also, you look at the sample size. And for example, some of the constituents there or the people the way they talk to, they say jobs and development then they get for do with the work of parliament. It's misleading. Not of parliamentarians the responsibility for create jobs and take development. I can't get that responsibility. For make sure they then take development now then respective localities.
Continue for the between at the studio, Sheku Lamin Toye from Parliament and Ina, the Deputy Director of Public Relations. They talk about the survey report where commodities being from Carl and IGL Osai, then say Parliament and the second corrupt institution at the country. The program Good Morning Salon, they continue.
We'll take short commercial break and come to the other studio guests.
Because money easy for loss, like how it easy for broke egg. You save no for life you couple business to people they will not sabi, and one day we get ben. Union Trust Bank get all the correct and master sabi people them for help make you couple better. We na Union Trust Bank team up tiranga, so your money go grow fine with no wahala, and you no go get we kind service no other side. Make good use of we SMS alert where they show you your money transaction. Enjoy the internet banking services for check your accounts. Safe, you can visit our website on www.utb.sl for no more, but we order plenty products and service them. Now Union Trust Bank, excellence now it's on card. Union Trust Bank, the fourth and true Salomon Bank.
Alright, the program Good Morning Salon, they continue with a look at other issues. The program was the Director of Public Education and Outreach, now the Anti-Corruption Commission, Patrick Sandy, say the ACC invite first-time President Ernest Bai Koroma for go answer to question them, we then say gets for do it executive order them, we according to them, they be the give the term we in being President na the country. Well, Patrick Sandy talk more about this invitation we they don't send to former President Koroma. He talk inside this interview with Mange Mansari.
Yes, I will confirm that the ACC don't extend invitation to the former president of Sierra Leone, Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma.
What are the reason we on invite him for?
Well, the reason that the commission they done they look into several issues by way of investigations, and those issues they not go be laid to rest or we not go get to finality if at all we not call